All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. Today we are going deep on lash extensions.
Oh, lash extensions.
Which, on the surface you think, okay,
Yeah.
beauty trends, whatever. But
Yeah.
we're going to find out it's a lot more than that.
I'm sure it is.
We're going to get into like all the cultural and societal stuff.
For sure.
So to help us with this deep dive, we have an interview with Sarah Whitman, who's a journalist. And she's been working on this paper all about lash extension usage, specifically with American women.
Okay, well, I'm ready to get my assumptions challenged.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's dive in.
Okay.
So the first thing that Sarah really wanted to hit on was the why.
Okay.
Like, why are lash extensions so popular? And of course, a lot of people, the first thing they say is,
convenience.
oh, it's so convenient.
Time saver.
But she's like, hold on, it's way more than just like...
Right, because if it was just about saving like 5 minutes in the morning, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if it would be this actual.
Tied into this pressure women feel to do it all.
Okay.
We're supposed to have these amazing careers and families and social lives and be really fit and like look perfect all the time. So to add on top of that.
Yeah, where does that fit in?
This whole other beauty routine, it's like, no.
So it's almost like they're outsourcing that pressure in a way.
Yeah.
It's interesting to think about it like that. Like the time management strategy, really.
And then she gets even deeper.
Okay.
She starts talking about how there's like a real psychological boost tied to lash extensions.
Interesting.
It's not just about looking good.
Okay.
It's also about feeling more confident, feeling more put together.
Yeah.
And how that can like really impact
I can see
how you interact with the world.
It's like the halo effect. You feel good about one thing, and then that kind of spills over into other areas.
Okay, but we have to talk about...
I was just thinking that.
The elephant in the room.
What's that?
The stigma.
Ooh, okay.
Because there is a stigma with lash extensions.
For sure.
Because people think they're high maintenance or too much or like...
There's like a stereotype of a certain type of woman who gets them.
Yes.
Did her research kind of debunk that at all?
Totally.
Okay.
She found that most of the women who are getting lash extensions are just like everyday people, like moms, professionals, students. They're not all like Instagram influencers.
Gotcha.
And their reasons for getting them are so practical.
Okay.
Like a lot of them just want to look more awake.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially moms.
Yeah, or just feel a little bit more confident, not necessarily fit some unattainable beauty standard.
So it really is more about practicality and just like personal empowerment.
Totally.
Okay.
Which I think is really cool.
I like that. Yeah.
Okay. And then speaking of practicalities.
Yes.
Let's talk about maintenance.
Okay.
Because,
most women are going to get fills every 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But that can vary.
Right.
Depending on like the look you're going for, your individual lash growth.
So there's a level of commitment there.
Yeah.
But also a level of like customization.
Yes.
You're not stuck with one look forever.
Exactly.
Okay.
And Sarah really emphasized the fact that like education is key.
Okay.
Like knowing how to properly care for your lashes, like avoiding oil-based products.
Yeah.
Being gentle when you wash your face.
So it's not just a matter of slapping them on and forgetting about them. There's like a learning curve.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then this is where it gets even more interesting.
Okay.
She noticed like some regional trends.
Oh, regional trends.
With lash extension use.
Oh, I'm so curious about this.
Yeah.
Fill me in. Is it a big city thing? You would think, right?
Yeah.
Like urban areas, LA, New York, Miami, they still have the highest concentration of users.
Okay.
But it's becoming increasingly popular in the suburbs.
Interesting.
And even rural areas.
Wow. So it really is spreading beyond just like the typical fashion hotspots.
Yeah.
What do you think is driving that shift?
Well, she thinks social media plays a huge role.
Okay.
No matter where you live,
right,
you are seeing those perfect lashes all over Instagram, TikTok.
So social media is kind of democratizing the trend.
Yes.
Making it feel more accessible to more people.
And then the other big factor is the rise of accessible training for lash technicians.
Okay.
So you don't have to be in a major city to find a qualified professional anymore.
Right. So accessibility is driving adoption.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And so, I think that begs the question, as it's spreading so rapidly, is the stigma actually fading?
I'm ready to find out.
And that leads us perfectly into our next segment.
Let's get into it. So, as we're talking about this whole shift in perception around lash extensions, it makes me think about how the whole idea of self-care has evolved, too.
Yep.
Like, it wasn't that long ago that self-care was all about this big, indulgent things, like, spa day, a weekend getaway.
A luxury.
A luxury, exactly.
Right.
But now it seems like we're seeing this move towards integrating self-care into everyday life.
Yeah.
Finding these, little things that just make you feel good.
And lash extensions definitely seem to fit into that.
Yeah.
It's like a mini boost each morning.
It's like you said, waking up already feeling done can really impact your whole outlook.
And it's not just about looking good for others.
Yeah.
It's like that internal shift.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like feeling good about yourself.
Absolutely.
Which can radiate outwards. And that confidence can help you tackle challenges. And just show up differently.
So it's almost like lash extensions could be seen as a tool for self-empowerment.
Yeah.
In a way.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because it reframes the whole conversation.
It's not frivolous.
It's about
investing in yourself.
Investing in your well-being.
Yeah.
And that brings us back to the stigma question.
Yeah.
If more women see it as self-care, maybe that helps to kind of break down those negative assumptions.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Okay, and then Sarah's research also touched on another fascinating aspect of this, which is lash extensions as self-expression.
Oh, now that's interesting.
Right.
How are women using lash extensions to express themselves?
Yeah.
I'm picturing a lot of variety, probably.
Yeah, because there's so many options,
Right.
different lengths, thicknesses, curls. You can even get different colors.
Well, it's really not just a one-size-fits-all thing. You can truly personalize it.
Yeah, and she found that women are really into that aspect of it.
Okay.
Some go for a really natural look. Others want something really bold and dramatic.
Oh, interesting.
Right.
So it's like choosing an outfit or a hairstyle.
Yes.
You're conveying something about your personality.
Exactly.
Right.
And it all comes back to that idea of breaking free from a single beauty standard.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong.
Totally.
It's just what makes you feel good.
It's about owning your choices and just celebrating that individual style.
And that, honestly, brings up an even bigger question, which is,
ooh, okay.
How do beauty trends like this reflect the changes that are happening in our culture as a whole?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right.
It really is.
I think we're seeing a move away from trying to fit into a mold.
Yeah.
And more towards, embracing individuality.
Totally, yeah.
And beauty trends are reflecting that.
I think so.
It's not just about following rules anymore. It's about, finding what feels authentic to you.
Absolutely. And we're seeing so much more diversity in what's considered beautiful these days, which is awesome.
From, minimalist to maximalist, bold colors to natural looks. It's all out there.
It's all good.
It's all good.
Yeah.
And lash extensions just kind of fit right into that.
Yeah.
It's all about
that customization.
Yeah.
Being able to tailor the look to your own preferences.
Yes.
Which I love.
It's not about striving for someone else's ideal of beauty.
Exactly.
It's about defining it for yourself.
Right.
And that brings us back to Sarah's research, because she found so much diversity in the motivations behind getting lash extensions.
Right.
It wasn't just one thing.
No.
Some women just wanted to enhance their natural features, make their eyes pop a little more.
Makes sense.
Others were all about simplifying their routine,
right?
Saving time and energy.
Yeah.
And then for some, it was directly tied to that confidence boost,
yeah,
or wanting to express their personal style.
Totally.
So it really highlights how complex our relationship with beauty is.
For sure.
It's practical.
Yeah.
It's emotional.
And it's personal.
It's personal. And I think that's what makes this topic so fascinating to explore.
I agree. Yeah.
Because it goes way beyond the surface.
Yeah.
It's about identity.
Totally.
Self-expression. And how those things intersect with the world around us.
So true.
Which brings us back to that big question.
Oh, yeah.
How do our other seemingly simple beauty choices reflect these deeper cultural shifts?
I think that's something that we all need to ponder.
Yes.
What are the motivations behind our own routines and the things we choose to do?
How do those choices make us feel?
Yes, exactly.
Are we doing them for ourselves?
Right.
Or because of some external pressure?
It's such an important question to ask ourselves.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, beauty isn't just about appearances.
It's about how we see ourselves and how we choose to present ourselves to the world.
Which is the powerful thing.
Totally.
To be in control of.
It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And with that thought-provoking note,
ooh, good one.
We'll wrap up part 2 of our deep dive into the world of lash extensions.
Stick around. We'll be back in a moment with our final thoughts. All right, welcome back, everyone, for our final thoughts on lash extensions.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting conversation.
It has.
We've covered, like, practicality, self-care, even, like, self-expression, and how all this ties into these kind of bigger cultural trends.
Yeah, I feel like I'm seeing the whole trend through, like, a new lens.
Total.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
So to kind of wrap things up,
okay,
I want to go back to something that we were talking about before, which is this whole idea of how the definition of beauty itself is changing.
Yeah, like that old idea of one right way to be beautiful.
Right.
It's thankfully fading away.
It is. Yeah. And I think lash extensions are kind of part of that shift.
I think so, too.
Because they give you the power to create a look that's truly individual.
Totally.
Which kind of flips the script on those old beauty standards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to fit yourself into a mold, you're kind of taking beauty into your own hands.
Yes.
And that's, like, in a world where we're constantly bombarded with images of how we should look.
Right.
That's pretty powerful.
That is really powerful.
Yeah.
And it makes me think back to something Sarah emphasized in her research about, like, the variety of reasons why women choose to get lash extensions.
It was never just one thing.
Right. It wasn't just one thing.
Yeah.
You know, some women just wanted a simpler makeup routine.
Yeah.
Others wanted to feel more confident.
Of course.
And some even just wanted to try something new.
Totally.
You know, express their personal style.
It all comes back to that idea of, like, not conforming to some external idea of beauty, but using it as a tool for, like, self-improvement.
Yeah.
For self-expression.
Totally.
However you want to define it, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it really all comes back to that question.
Oh, yeah.
That we started with, which is...
the big one.
How do beauty trends,
right,
even something like lash extensions, reflect the bigger changes that are happening in our culture?
Like, it's like we're holding up a mirror to society in a way, and what I see reflected is a move towards, like, inclusivity.
Totally.
Diversity.
Yeah.
And above all, just, like...
personal choice.
Personal choice, yeah.
And I love that.
Me too.
And that makes me think, how many other seemingly superficial trends are actually part of this bigger movement?
Right.
And what does that say about where we are as a culture?
That's the question I would love for our listeners to ponder.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, this deep dive wasn't just about lash extension.
Well,
it was about looking beneath the surface and seeing how our choices reflect kind of who we are and who we want to be.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everyone, so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of lash extensions.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.
We hope you learned something new.
Or just maybe saw things from a different perspective.
And until next time,
keep exploring.
Keep expressing.
And keep expressing your unique beauty.